to do a interview on someone who has purchased a home, and the questions that follow, all these questions will be related to it. There's quite a few of them actually. And then I have to write a paper summing it all up afterwards. So, um, let me read through this really quick just because I should have looked at this sooner, but work took priority. Okay, for each interview section, summarize the response. Okay, so I'm just going to run through the questions and let's have the record and I'll go back to this. But okay,
Okay.
so the first question is these first questions around background of the financial decision. So, what was the significant financial decision you made? I know that you bought a house. What? Oh, so you made that. I know the answer to that one too. Sorry, you made that decision with your husband, Kyle. Um, I should have read these. I'm so sorry.
You're fine.
Okay, so when did you make the decision, and what was happening in your life at the time that like prompted you to make the decision to purchase a home?
So I always wanted to purchase a home before I was 30. It was just something that I had in the back of my head. To be a successful adult, I needed to purchase a home before I was 30, which is not the case whatsoever, but that's just what I had in my mind.
Hmm.
Also, my oldest son was going to be going into kindergarten, and where we lived at the time, the school district was horrendous, and I was not going to send my son to that school district. And it wasn't possible to homeschool. And so I started looking for better districts that were close. And that was pretty much the driving factor in us buying a home, was getting my kids into a good school district.
That's a good point. I'm always looking at that kind of stuff too, because I'm like, where do
Mhm.
I want Karsten to go to school?
Yep.
Do you feel like this was a carefully planned choice, or was it kind of spontaneous?
It was very spontaneous. It was very much, we had the idea in March that we wanted to buy a house, went to a mortgage broker. They told us what we needed to do to get our credit where we needed, and we were in our house by May.
Dang.
Yeah.
Um, that's crazy. It happened so fast.
Yeah.
So the next set of questions is preparation and planning questions. So, and you kind of answered that already. So
Okay.
you went to talk to a mortgage broker to get an idea of what you guys could like afford and all that kind of fun stuff, and they went through it with you. Um,
Yep.
when you went and did this though, did you like create a budget? Like, did you write out a budget plan for your guys' self to see like, okay, yes, they gave us this advice, but does this actually make sense for our finances? Like, did you make any of those kind of like steps without the help of a finance person or?
No, not with us, just ourselves. The mortgage broker we went to really, they got access to our bank account and all of our finances, and they like went through it all, and they were like, yeah, these are the credit cards you need to pay down. You need to move money over here, move money over here, and then that would adjust everything where we needed it to be to hit the right credit score.
Did you talk to anybody else outside of that financial advisor to get advice or help on making this purchase?
Just family and friends, not
Yeah,
anybody like professional.
right. Okay. Okay. So the next section talks about challenges and obstacles. So what challenges arose while you were doing this buying process?
Um, just the market in general, if that's kind of where the question's going. The At the time, the market was completely flooded with buyers, and so trying to actually find a house and get a bid in before there was 30 bids stacked was probably the most challenging part of the whole process.
Okay. Did you or I'm sorry, expect, that's not the right word. Did you encounter any unexpected expenses or risks while you were doing this process?
Yes, we once we found the house we wanted, in order for the loan that we qualified for to cover the house, there was a garage that was falling down, so we had to remove the garage before the loan would cover the purchase of the house. So that was an out-of-pocket expense. We split it with the homeowner down the middle,
Okay.
and yeah, so we had to do that before we could buy it.
How did you stay motivated to adapt when challenges or setbacks arose?
Um, I guess I just saw the big picture of it, right? Getting out of a not great area to a better area where it was my kids pretty much that motivated me
Hmm.
because I wanted them to be in a good area where they could play in the front yard and I wouldn't have to watch them constantly.
Right. Did you just have Casey at the time?
No, we had all three. My
Oh,
youngest,
really?
Jackson, was 6 months old.
Oh, okay. I was curious. That was not a question
Yeah.
on the list.
Yep.
Okay. Emotional and lifestyle impact are the next section of questions. How did the decision impact your lifestyle and emotional well-being?
It definitely improved our emotional well-being. Being in our own place, being able to decorate, do kind of whatever we wanted with the house. Um, what was that, emotional and financial? Is that what that was?
Lifestyle.
Lifestyle. It affected our lifestyle a little bit because we moved away from all of our friends. Like we moved, and it wasn't far. It was only, half an hour drive, but not a lot of our friends were willing to drive out here because we were the only ones out here. And so a lot of times we'd have to drive back in and see them. So it affected that a lot with our friends.
Yeah, that makes sense. I
Hmm.
felt like that's how it was. Like we used to always, when we lived in Tacoma, we always drove out here to see everybody. Now we're here.
Yeah.
It's a lot nicer.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, did it change your daily routine, stress level, sense of financial security?
Yes. So daily routine for sure because it was a lot longer commute into the office for me. Um, our mortgage was almost double what we were paying for rent at the time. So
Oh, wow.
financially, it financially hit us. Um, but we were able to work through it. But it was a definitely a lifestyle change for sure.
Right. How did this affect your relationship with your spouse?
Um, I don't think it really did. I guess maybe it made us closer because
Hmm.
going through that process is you have to be able to communicate with each other. It's a lot of paperwork, it's a lot of moving, house repairs, things like that. So you have to be able to communicate and, I don't know, trust and lean on each other to do the things that need to be
Right.
done. Yeah,
Yeah, I get that. That makes a lot of sense.
a lot of stress.
Yeah, no, for sure. I can see how, but I can also, it's actually cool that you said that it's like it helped your guys' communication because when you go through such a big, buying a house is such a large life event. And so
Yeah,
like being able to say that you came out of it like stronger and feel closer to each other and like better communication was built through it is really cool.
yeah.
Okay, got four sections left.
Okay.
Okay, financial outcomes and lessons learned. So was the financial outcome what you expected?
Yeah, I think when we talked to like the mortgage broker and stuff, they explained it pretty well. I think the biggest shock was I didn't understand that when property taxes rise, that means your mortgage rises. And
Mm,
so I always thought, people always talk about like a fixed mortgage or, different types of mortgage styles and different loan types. And I didn't really understand any of that. So then like we lived here for probably about 2 years, no increase on our mortgage, and then all of a sudden our property taxes skyrocketed like 100%. And so our mortgage obviously went up to balance that out. And so that
mm-hmm.
was a little shocking, something I didn't expect, but made sense once
That's good to
I,
know.
yeah, it all depends on the type of mortgage you get. So it's good to make sure you understand each different type and what you qualify for.
Um, what went well and what didn't go well throughout this, do you feel?
Um, Honestly, my process was all very smooth. It all went really, really well. In my opinion, it was quick. It was easy. Like people always say buying a house is so difficult. And in my experience, it wasn't. It was very
Hmm.
simple. I would have done it years earlier if I would have known how simple it was.
Hmm.
But that was just my experience. Things that didn't go well. I and I don't know. I don't have an
Yeah,
answer for that one. Like it all went
yeah.
so smooth. Like
Hmm. Well, that's good. It's
yeah,
good that you guys had a good buying experience and like it was painless for the most part, minus
right.
the garage.
Yeah, yeah.
uh, so then if you could go back, is there anything that you would have done differently?
Um, I don't think so. I think I would have liked to have maybe a little bit more time to look at a couple more options, but in the season of time we were buying it, that wasn't feasible. You know what I mean? It
Yeah.
was people were buying up houses so quickly that we got lucky in the one that we even got because it had
Right.
renters in it. And
Hmm.
so they were very picky on when people could see the house. And we got really, really lucky that we were able to come and see it when we did and put in an offer. Because everywhere else, like I'm not joking you, I'd go see a house and be like, okay, yeah, let's put in an offer. And our real estate agent would be like, oh, well, there's already 10 offers in, and the most recent is 50,000 over asking price. So I would
No.
not
So you're like,
recommend.
no. Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Um, what advice would you give yourself if you going back and looking back on it?
um, ask more questions, especially if there's stuff that you think you understand, but you're not very confident in it. Ask the questions, ask the millions of different questions. Don't feel stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah, just ask a ton of questions. Make sure you ask your inspector a lot of questions. Actually be there for the inspection, not just after the fact to go over the documents. Like be there and do the inspection with them.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, I think that would be the biggest two.
Right on. Next section is ongoing financial consideration. Are you still managing the effects of this decision today? Obviously, you're still paying your house.
Yeah, yep,
So,
still paying mortgage.
um, are there continuing payments, responsibilities, or benefits? So, yes, you're still paying. Yes, you love. I'm assuming you guys love your house because you guys have been
Oh
there
yeah.
for a long time.
Yeah.
So, um, how have economic changes affected long-term outcome? So I think you answered that earlier though, because you talked about the mortgage going up because of property taxes. So
Right.
that makes sense.
That
I
and
think
the
that.
just cost of living going up. Like our plan had
Hmm.
always been to try to pay more every month to make our so then we wouldn't have to pay for as a long. But with the cost of
Yeah,
living going up and my kids getting
that just
older, that's just not feasible.
yeah, that makes sense. So advice for others. What advice would you give someone considering similar financial decision?
If you're in the place to be able to do it sooner rather than later. Don't waste your money on rent. Like buy something and it's so much more satisfying coming home to something that's yours and you know you
Hmm.
own it and you can do what you want with it. I always, when I'm in rentals, I always felt like I was tiptoeing around somebody else's house, like
Hmm.
walking on eggshells, like, oh, don't stain the rug, don't leave dirty hands on the walls. Now it's just like, I'll clean it later. Like,
Right. What resources or habits helped you most?
resources or habits helped most. This is funny. Tax return helped greatly. Helped
Mhm.
very much so. Um, resources and habits. Habits just, I guess, just being consistent and follow through and just when we went to like the mortgage broker and they said, oh, well, you have this credit card, you need to pay this off, like actually doing it and not just being like, oh, I don't have time for that, like actually like trying to build good payment habits, I guess.
Right. Taking the mortgage, well, the mortgage broker as a resource, but then actually following through with the advice that he gives or she
Right.
gave.
Yep.
That's smart. What would you caution someone about this process?
Don't let your don't let your eyes get bigger than your wallet can handle. Um,
That's smart.
you'll see tons and tons of houses that are just gorgeous and you want them, but you're only approved for 300 grand and that one is 400 and the mortgage broker says, "Yeah, we can get you up to 400 if you want." Uh-uh.
Don't.
Don't.
Yeah.
Don't do it. Stay within your means because when those property taxes go up, you're going to be out of your means and then you're going to be screwed. So,
Right.
yeah, stay within your means or even lower.
That's smart. Was the decision aligned with your long-term goals and ethical values?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Was your perspective on money changed as a result of making this decision?
Kind of. I guess it changed a little bit just on making sure that we watch our money a little bit better, and not spend so crazily on random stuff. Um, and put it more towards the mortgage, the long-term goals, not necessarily just the short-term satisfaction.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
makes sense. Awesome. That was all the questions. Sorry, there was a lot of them.
No, that's
I'm
good.
going to thank you so much for doing this for me. I really appreciate your help. You're always my person. So I'm gonna stop the recording.